And hello fellow tankers, Space Bandit here with another episode of World of Tanks, and today we are back in T110E5, Tier 10 American heavy tank. We are on map Live Oaks. The matchup is not necessarily too bad, only one artillery per side, which means we can easily go to the location J7. Is it? Yes, it is J7. Where we can use our gun depression and shit on whoever's poking over the ridge. So that's, that strength of this tank is definitely a ridgeline fighter. Although, if you know T110E5, you know it's a great all-around tank. The only weak spot really on this tank is that big tumor on its head, that cupola, that can be troll sometimes as well. But if you aim at it on the lower portion of that cupola is easily penetratable. So yeah, so we're gonna make a hard push over here. Looks like majority of our heavy tanks are heading this way, so we should have a good brawl in this area. That's what I was thinking. If I can get this position here, and this position is key, if you get in here fast, you can utilize your gun depression pretty nicely here because the ridge isn't that steep. And yeah, you can engage these guys that are on the opposite side, further down the line, or opposite side of the ridge here. So we're gonna try to see if we have any shots at this chieftain. We put one shell into it. One thing you guys should pay attention to in this game is T110E5's gun accuracy. It's absolutely fantastic. I don't know if it's the cola making all that difference, because this is probably one of the few tanks that I'm actually using premium consumables. The reason why is I never lose money on this tank. The AP rounds are pretty good. They have good penetration, so I end up shooting mostly AP. Heat rounds are there if you need them, and they're absolutely fantastic as well, except you have to make sure you hit the flat armor, not the spaced armor or the tracks, because, heat doesn't work with tracks, if you're not aware. Anyway, so we're trying to engage this Paladin here. First shot that we put into him, we tried to break his gun actually. I didn't think I could penetrate him from the front. Then the second shell I wanted to put into his, close to his drive wheel, into his side. I could see it, but that derped. Now we're gonna put one shell into the Super Conqueror, but we exchange shells here, so I don't really want to engage in that battle because he doesn't have any weak spots here, and I do. So one thing I was thinking about is maybe breaking his gun, but decided not to shoot there. Instead, we're going to focus on T110E5 that's sitting on this side, and he's all alone at this point in time. So if we get over this ridge, we can easily engage him, and then Super Conqueror has to overexpose himself to shoot me. And if he does, he would get shot at. So I'm looking at Super Conqueror here, but he fired, so no problem there. E5, for whatever reason, pays attention to me. But we're gonna track him. We're gonna basically get his side. Once we get into his side, there's not much he can do. And like I said, at this point I'm not really worried that Super Conqueror is gonna shoot me in the side, because if he would do that, he would overexpose himself so much that the tanks that are sitting further down, like in H9 right there, they would have shots at him. So he decided to basically drop and withdraw from the fight. And that's, I think, the right move on his part, because most of his team is gonna lose. There are so many of us. Now, at the same time, we lost the other side of the map. So now, instead of pushing through, I always like to turn around and see what's whether we can defend the base. Because last thing you want to do is lose the game, right? And that's in my blood. That's how I play the game anyway. So in majority of cases, you'll see me, instead of pushing through, going back to defend the base. And the reason why I'm doing that too is we have enough tanks going and pushing through the opposition's base, so they don't really need me over there. They could use my gun on this side of the field here. Anyway, the first shell on this Object 268 bounces. I don't know how magically it bounces. This game, I'm telling you guys, is sick sometimes. I don't understand what's going on with it. The shots that should penetrate don't, and the shots that should not penetrate do. Anyway, we see this T-54E1. We track him there. Now look at this gun's accuracy. It's just phenomenal. I mean, I don't think Conqueror can do this. Lately my Conqueror has been really shit. I can't hit half of these shots. So we're gonna try to put a blind shot in there, but obviously he moved. So I'm gonna try to switch attention to someone else. Now, me being here under the bridge, it's an excellent position, especially if you're the friendlies are lighting the opposition up. You can easily just sit here and farm, and that's what I'm doing here. So just looking for shots basically, and keep on looking at this. Like, take a look at this gun's accuracy. Seriously, like every shell goes where I want it to go. Now this gun is really good. Some people say it's not. I think it's phenomenal. I mean, this tank is great at sniping, it's great at rolling. Man, it's got some mobility. It's quite maneuverable for being a heavy tank. This tank is really good. Great all-around tank, except for that weak spot on the top. But if you keep on moving your turret, even when you're brawling, and you keep on moving the whole of the tank, it's really hard to pen. Now take a look at this shot. This is crazy. That should have never penned. I don't understand this game. Like, at this angle, the way I hit the 100 with the standard shell. I know I hit the flat part of the turret, but at that angle, that shot should have never penetrated. So something's weird about this game, guys. Honestly, something really is, and I cannot explain it. Weird things are happening. Shots that should be penetrating are not. There are too many ghost shells in the game nowadays. I've had so many ghost shells, it's not even funny. I don't know if it's being done on purpose by Wargaming, but if not, why don't they fix the game? They have to fix the game. You know, there's gotta do something about those, at least those ghost shells. That's just ridiculous. Anyway, I'm gonna stop complaining here. Let's just focus on the game. So at this point, I'm just looking for shots over the ridge, but I couldn't find anything there, and I didn't want to overexpose myself, really. So we're going to try to change the position slightly, see whoever maybe is going for our base. If no one's going for our base, we're going to try to engage these guys that ended up in the middle of the map there. So I see this Jagdpanzer 100. I'm going to poke over the ridge, really overexpose myself here. But I knew he wasn't looking at me, so I could take that shot. But unfortunately, he repairs his truck before I could fully aim, so he angles properly and I can't really penetrate him. Here I go for his lower plate. Bit lucky there that I didn't get penned by U100. That shot, I think, went under my hull, and he was firing full heat too, so yeah, a bit lucky there, but you know, I don't think he would have killed me, so going for damage there, trying to get more if I can. Now, I noticed that our heavy tank is moving in on these guys, and I think our Skoda is thinking about it. If that is the case, then we're gonna do the same thing. The only thing to keep in mind is these guys, if I get double tapped by one or the other, and I'm dead, right? Because even Jagdpanzer 100 can pretty much easily one-shoot me, right? So basically, I'm gonna play a little bit dirty here. I'm gonna hide behind this Conqueror. He's got a lot more health than I do, so I'll let him eat that shot, and we're gonna take him out of the game. I don't think Jagdpanzer actually misses him. I don't think he gets penned there. But artillery fires, and only RD left in the game, and I knew exactly where RD fired from. So we know exactly where to get him. So that's what we're gonna do. And I was just hoping at this point that none of my friendlies knew exactly where the RD was, because I saw exactly where the shell was coming from. I was hoping they didn't. So again, T110E5, just great all-arounder. Like I mentioned to you guys earlier, sniper, unbelievable sniper. The shots basically go in where I want them to. I mean, my crew is not the most experienced. I think it's got about 7 skills and perks, you know, which is pretty reasonable, but nothing spectacular. I think Cola is making a difference. So I might actually give Cola a try, or Premium Consumable a try on my other tanks. I usually don't run it because of I'm cheap. I don't like spending credits, but in this tank I never lose money, so be it. Anyway, we find the RD. We try to side scrape over here, but yeah, RD still manages to splash us for like, I don't know, 800 or something stupid like that, even though I was facing my front towards the artillery. Anyway, regardless, we take them out of the game and we secure the win for the team. So it's a victory. Let's take a look at the end plates now and see how we did. So yeah, I'm still working on a chisel contract and using actually American and British tanks in order to get there. But regardless, we managed to put up 5.1k damage with 1580 assisted and 1550 blocked. Little above average game for this tank. And I was actually surprised with class 1 because in the past it was really hard to get class 1 in this tank. Actually get mastery in this tank was crazy hard in the past. I don't know if masteries were recently, but I'll take it. So we had 1448 base XP, which is nothing really spectacular, 2 kills, but over 5 kill damage. And it just shows off what this tank can do. Anyway, I have another game for you guys. It's a nice tanky gameplay, so let's skip to that one. So we're on map Ghost Town. Tier 10 game, 1 artillery per side, pretty reasonably good matchmaking, half tier 10s, some tier 9s and some tier 8s. So we are the assaulting team. This is obviously the assault mode, so we have to capture the flag. So in this situation I'd like to get in deeper than normal because, you know, I'm a heavy tank, top tier, you gotta engage in the battle sooner. So instead of going into early position, I usually like position E5 or D5. In this situation, we're going to go to position D6, closer to that wall in front of me, and see if any of these guys from the opposing team are going to make their way up to the middle of the map and catch them a little bit off guard, being in this position early. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to sit here, we're going to pre-aim. We see this IS-7. I don't think he's paying attention to us, so we're going to put 1 shell into him. We're going to drop, work our gun depression here, get under his gun, and we're going to try to put another shell into him. He shoots our cupola, but he misses. And you can see the aim in this game. My aim settings were screwed up after the update, and I haven't played on this account for such a long time. So when I got back, the aim settings were screwed up. So you're gonna see my aim all over the place. But regardless, I fixed it since. But I have a few games that I recorded that are just completely crazy, stupid bad aim. Anyway, these guys backed off, so no one's in the middle now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna swing to the left. We're gonna help these guys on the left side. I think they're dealing with some tough armor there, and there's a nice crossfire, so we can get ourselves in the battle if we can use that wreck of the dead Wheezy in front of us. See if we can have shots at any of these customers. So we're gonna try to aim a shot at the E5. We track him, but we don't pan him. And I don't know what this charioteer is doing. Guys, if you're in a lightly armored vehicle, that's the last thing you want to do, is engage E5. I don't know, he should be sitting in the back line somewhere engaging somebody else. But we're just angling here, that's all, he can't even pen us. And now we're gonna switch our attention to this VK7201. We're gonna line up a shot at his side of the turret. That's the weak spot, but my aim is off. And instead of backing off, he's pulling forward, so I missed that shot. Bad shot on my part. We're gonna try to look for another shot into him, but I got abstracted by this little, I don't know what the hell that is. Anyway, we go in a third person view, and we put a shell into him. Now I see this E5 poking out, but both of these guys are distracted, shooting at my friendlies. And then the light tank YOLOs in. And he's gonna completely distract him, so I'm just gonna keep on putting shell after shell after shell into these guys since they're completely focused on the light tank. Both of them are. Probably a good play would be for one of them to be focused on us, but I don't think they trust each other, you know. It's a random game, and that's the way it works. Anyway, we're gonna try to put a shell into this E5. Look at my aim, all over the place, beautiful. We still managed to put a shell into him. We're gonna side scrape off of that wall as well as we can. We're gonna try to do the same thing here, but yeah, no comments there. We are good at hitting the wall, which is really good. We're gonna aim a shot at the bottom plate, I think. Oh no, the E5 shows up and shows us his armpit, so we're gonna put a shell into him and take him out of the game. Now we're gonna look at the bottom plate of this VK, and we're gonna take him out of the game as well. So very quick game. We dispatched of this side of the field really quickly. As you probably already noticed, we used some heat shells in the process. We just wanted to clean up as quickly as possible, and the VK7201 is so troll, especially the bottom plate. Sometimes you need heat for that. Anyway, we see this French tank destroyer, the Foch, so we put a shell into his side. Now we're gonna run to get more damage, and look at what this Conqueror does. Friendlies in the game. They are so great. Like, I had the inside position quicker than him, and he's running into me. Anyway, Death Star is sitting right here. We put one shell into him, and our idiot friend is pushing us forward. I could have died right here, easily, because he was pushing me forward. Anyway, I managed to survive because Death Star player wasn't aiming properly, so we put a shell into his drive wheel. We track him in place, but he repairs, so we're gonna scoot over to his side. Well, I was thinking I was gonna hit his side, but he had his front towards me, so unfortunately we don't penetrate that shot. But we're gonna line up one more shot at this Waffle E100. We put a shell into him, and our friendly takes him out of the game. Very quick game, you know, and nowadays that's what you're gonna see in World Tanks, unfortunately. Quick games. There's no way around it. I don't know why it is. Matchmaking shit, player matchmaking shit, tank matchmaking is reasonably okay. Hopefully this +1, -1 is gonna be brought for real. Maybe it's gonna kind of even things out across the board. Anyway, we managed to put up 5.4k damage, 727 assisted. We get Mastery Ace Tanker for this game, which I'm not sure why, because like I told you before, it was really hard in the past to get Ace Tanker in this tank. The Ace Tanker badges must have been recently or something like that, and I was able to get an Ace Tanker in this tank. Anyway, 2 quick games, very fantastic tank still to play. No matter how many nerfs it's gotten, it's still really good and reliable. Everyday brawler, sniper, whatever you want to make of it. Good all-rounder. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Go check out CloneGuy72 and Garadingi's channels. They got some great content on their YouTube channels. I will leave links to their channels in the description section below. That's it for now. Until next time, happy tanking, Space Bandit, checking out.